Okay, in this movie, I'm going to continue what I was talking about in a previous movie where you've just created your first Adobe Connect meeting room, and what do you do with it? So this is exactly what it looks like, and I want to walk you through all of the different parts. We do have drop-down menus up here, and we'll get to those in a few minutes. There are things such as layouts and pods. Here's some audio controls. You have a few buttons up here on the top. This one obviously will control your speaker, turning your speaker on and off. This is your microphone, turning your microphone on and off, and for both of these you can also adjust volume in here as well. So if you had your microphone turned on, you'd be able to adjust the volume. Here's webcam, if you want to use a webcam, and this is your status. So if you're teaching or presenting in Adobe Connect, this is a very important part of it, to keep people engaged so that you're not just lecturing, so that you can actually get them interacting with you. One thing you can do is have them set their status. For example, one of the most popular ones is the green check mark or the red X. Do you agree with what I've just said? Give me a green check mark if you agree, and give me a red X if you disagree. We were having a little fun in a class I was doing today with the rabbit and the turtle, but I've never seen those used before. But, for example, if someone is stepping away and going to a meeting, then you can tell because this shows up next to their name. So if I go over here and choose the green check mark, it shows up next to my name in the attendee list. The attendee list is one of the main things you want to have open so that you can tell who's in the meeting. You can decide if you want it sitting over here where people can see it, or if you want to put it someplace where you can hide it in an area called the presenter area. So before I get ahead of myself, let me talk about some of the different pods that you can use. And they're up here under the pods menu. There's one called the attendee list, which is an important one because that's how you can tell who's in the room and what role everyone is playing. You have 3 different levels: host, presenter, and participant. All of the people who are watching your webinar, students or just attendees, those are participants. You can control what rights they have, but for the most part, they can't really do much other than watch. The next level up is presenter. Some things are locked down. They can't really do a lot to change the layouts of the room, for example, but they do have controls to be able to use the whiteboard and the pointer tool and that sort of thing. And then host, which is what I am here, and it would be you if it's your own Adobe Connect account. You can promote people to be a host, or you can demote people to be presenter, that sort of thing if you want. But the host has full control to do everything. So I'm going to have access to menus up here that a presenter will not have and a participant definitely won't have. So the 3 different levels are host, presenter, and participants. The next thing I just want to talk about here briefly are the different types of pods you can have, and we'll go into more detail in a future movie. So I talked about the attendee list. You can also have chat pods, and those are listed up here under pods, chat. This is a brand new room. I just opened it, so there are no other ones listed here. But if I had different chats for different layouts or different things going on in different chats, I can have multiple ones in here. Down here is a note pod where you can collaborate and take notes. Only one person can type in it at a time, and they have to be either a presenter or a host to be able to do that. But cool things that you can do, I can go in here and export this. I can save it as rich text. I can also email it to all of the collaborators if I want to. And we do have controls in here for bulleted lists and for color and size and bold and italic and underline and that sort of thing. And then we have share pods, and this large pod in the middle is a share pod. So if you want to share anything like slides or a movie, if you have a Swift file that you want to play, if you have a PowerPoint or a PDF, or if you just want to bring up a photo of yourself and put it up in the corner, that would be, a typical graphic format. I use PNGs most of the time, but you can use PNGs, JPEGs, that sort of thing. Those are all loaded into a share pod. And again, it's up here under the pods menu, under share. And this is where they would all be listed, and you could bring things in. For example, as I said, you could bring in a photo if you just wanted to have a picture of yourself while you're talking, if you want to bring in slides, anything like that, images, those are all put in share pods. So this is really the basic layout of the Adobe Connect room when you open a room for the first time. You do have things over here on the right called layouts. I'll talk about those in a future movie, but for now, this is really the basic layout of Adobe Connect.